Hi everybody, welcome to our cooking day, Saturday. We're making Salisbury steak meatballs today, and we wanted to give Cameron a little shout out. She got us these cute little Health Warrior cooking aprons, so thank you, Cameron.
Yes, thank you.
It's a really cool Christmas present and it makes us look so very official. So we're in rainy Oregon today making Salisbury steak meatballs, and this recipe is great. It calls for a lot of the same natural ingredients that I was talking about last week. We're going to use the cocoa aminos again. I love those things and they're very healthy for you. We're going to use some almond flour in our meatballs, and I like using almond flour. It's the brand I get is again from Bob's Red Mill. I should be getting a kickback for all the Bob's Red Mill that I'm going to be promoting. I use Bob's Red Mill because it's grown locally, as in Oregon. I like to try to always buy things as local as possible and as sustainable as possible. And I like to use a lot of organic ingredients whenever I can. So you'll hear me talk about that a lot. I try to shop for my produce local, even my ground beef. No, it's not local, but it's from my dad and from his farm. So I'm always just really conscious of where my food comes from and if it's real food.
So my mom is currently mixing the ground beef, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of almond flour, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 2 tablespoons of mustard, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and 1 tablespoon of cocoa aminos. And she's just mixing that with her hands. We are lightly browning these meatballs in avocado oil, and we're using our handy little scooper here. And I am simply just taking the meat and forming it into a little meatball, and then scooping it into the pan.
We're just going to lightly brown these because we're going to finish them off in the oven a little bit. Okay, we're getting our meatballs browned up, and you kind of have to be careful. These, I think it's the cocoa aminos. They're easy to burn them and get them too brown, so you just have to kind of cook them really low and slow. I'm not going to cook them all the way through. I'm just going to brown them a little bit on the edges and then transfer them onto a cookie sheet and finish them in the oven. Katie is right now got some ghee melted in a pan. Ghee is like clarified butter. All the milk solids have been removed. And we're getting ready to make the sauce. It's going to be a sauce with onions, garlic, the mushrooms, and then some more spices. It's got mustard and cocoa aminos, and then the broth. So we're getting ready to do that. First off, we're kind of cooking our garlic just a little bit. We're going to start to add in the onion. We've got our mushrooms and onion and garlic. Right now we've got a medium onion chopped, 3 tablespoons of garlic chopped. I think I used about 3 little cloves of garlic. And then we've got our mushrooms, and the recipe calls for a cup of mushrooms. Again, I'm making a little bit more, doubling this, so I've got 2 cups of mushrooms in here, so I've actually doubled this recipe. We've got our meatballs transferred from our pan, and we're getting ready to put those into an oven, about 375 for about 10 minutes or so, just to finish those off. Katie's a great helper. We love cooking together. To this, we're going to add in our beef broth. This is about 12 ounces. That's added in with our mushrooms and our garlic. Just stirring that around, want to get it to a bit of heat. And then she's also going to add in a teaspoon of mustard and 2 teaspoons of cocoa aminos. And I must warn you, we're lazy, Tricky Tracy. We just do little squirts and kind of guesstimate as we're cooking, so we're not super perfect with that part. It always ends up tasty. Pioneer Woman does it this way, so I watch her a lot, and she's taught me all these Tricky Tracy bad tricks, good tricks actually. You want to bring this to a simmer. We are getting ready to finish up this sauce. We have made a little slurry out of arrowroot powder and beef broth. Added that in, and that's what's going to thicken up this sauce so nice and pretty. It's bubbling and boiling, so yummy. We're going to then transfer the meatballs in there, and we're going to serve it up on top of some little baby russet potatoes that we've baked. We're just going to smash those and serve it up on top. We've just served this up on top of a smashed potato. It's got meatballs and all that yummy Salisbury steak goodness. You guys are going to love this. Enjoy!